Hello, beautiful woman. My name is Louise Jeffrey, and I'm a speaker, teacher, and coach. I've helped thousands of women over the past 10 years to create lasting change so they can live the life they're meant to live and be the best they can be. Now, if you're watching this, then chances are you probably don't have exactly what you want in your life right now. Perhaps you want more money, more success in your career, or a loving relationship. Perhaps you want to be slimmer or improve your health, or you want to change an unwanted habit, but you just can't seem to get there. Now, I would imagine you've tried many different things before, but haven't managed to get the results you set out to get. You put your mind to something, determined to make the change, but then you find you slip back into your old habits or self-sabotage behaviors. You know you could be living a life far greater than the one you have now, but you just can't seem to get there. Now, I know how hard it is to be in this place because I've been there too. I spent many years in a battle with myself around money and around my body. I'd set a goal, super determined to get there, and I'd put a plan in place to achieve what I wanted to. But then something would happen. I'd lose my motivation, I'd lose my mojo, I'd lose my focus, and I was back to where I started, stuck in my old negative behaviors and thought patterns. And it was so frustrating. Now, if this is you, then I want you to know that you're not alone. Research shows us that 99% of people on this planet aren't living up to their true potential. Now, to me, that's a scary statistic because time flies way too fast in this lifetime. Now, what I really want you to know about what I've just been talking about is that it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you can't get where you want to go, and it's not your fault that you can't seem to make sustainable change. It's not your fault that you can't overcome your self-sabotage behaviors, and I'm going to share with you why. So you know the part of us that breathes without us having to think about it, the part of us that digests our food without us having to tell it to, that's the unconscious part of you, or what we call the autonomic nervous system. Now, this unconscious part of your body also controls your thought processes, and I call it the unconscious mind-body, because it's made up of the unconscious mind and the body, as the name implies. So whether we like it or not, we are actually at the mercy of this unconscious mind-body, not just physically, but emotionally too. And here's how. From a very young age, we have experiences, some of which are good and some of which are not so good. And we're going to focus on the not so good ones for now. Now, these experiences have emotions attached to them, which we feel strongly in the body. And as we recall these not so good experiences that we've had, we also recall the fear that we felt at the time. Now, that fear is stored in our body's cells. But here's where the problem comes in. The unconscious mind-body's main aim is to create certainty. Why? Because being certain of what is fearful, in other words, what is dangerous to us, helps us to stay alive. Survival of the fittest, remember? We are actually a product of our own evolution. Now, the problem is that the unconscious mind-body can't tell the difference between what is perceived, in other words, us remembering the fear we had, and what is actually real, so the actual event itself. And so what happens is that the unconscious mind-body relives the experience again and again, and that reinforces the negative experience or the trauma into the body's cells. Now, all of this may probably sound a little bit complex to you right now, but just stay with me if you can, because it'll all make sense soon. So if the unconscious mind-body wants the certainty of avoiding that same fear or that same negative event that it has or thinks it has experienced, it will do whatever it takes to ensure this doesn't happen again. It will do anything it can to ensure you don't have to go through that again, even if it means overriding your conscious mind and overriding your thought processes. So here's an example for you. Say that you, as a young child, had a parent who was very hard on you. No matter how hard you tried, nothing you ever did was good enough. And if you failed at anything at school, you would hear about it, and that did not feel good. So eventually, you developed a belief in your unconscious mind-body that failing at anything in life was unsafe. Now, as time went on, you became absolutely 100% focused on perfection. And at the same time, you became too scared to try anything new for fear of failing. So the limiting belief that the unconscious mind created is a fear of failure, and it will play out in anything of significance that you try to do. Now, as I said, because your unconscious mind body will do anything to avoid failing, it decides that it won't even try. And so you continue to stay small. Sadly, what happens is that just reinforces the same limiting belief back into your body's cells. So here you are, you're older now, and you know rationally that it's not scary to fail, but your unconscious mind body, who remember wants certainty, is screaming the opposite. Because the unconscious mind body stores the memories and creates the beliefs, it completely takes over your thought process without you even knowing it. It springs counter arguments on you, demotivates you, or even creates physical symptoms to hold you back. The unconscious mind body is actually that powerful. So can you see how easily we end up with self-sabotage behaviors? It's actually fear that is unconsciously holding us back from making change, and we're not even aware of it. Now, as I said before, 99% of the planet are being run by their unconscious mind body without even realizing it. That's why visualization and affirmations don't work unless we remove the fear factor first. After we do that, then they become incredibly powerful. So what about the 1% that aren't being run by fear? How do they go about manifesting what they want in their lives? The answer lies in something called flow. Now, flow is the opposite of fear. You may have felt the state of flow at different times in your life, where everything feels easy and everything feels effortless. It's where great ideas come to you without much thought, and every action, movement, and thought follows easily from one to the next. Your relationships prosper, you manifest what you want in life, and it feels good. Flow is where we're living in an optimal state of consciousness and to our maximum potential. We're not being controlled by unconscious programs or by fear, but rather we're actually being led by something greater than ourselves, and our unconscious mind body is responding to that. Now, most of us, as I said, reach this state unconsciously at various times in our lives for very brief periods. But what that 1% do, that the rest of us don't do, is that they know how to create the flow state consciously and intentionally. And this is how they're able to create and manifest all that they want in life. Now, I've thrown a lot of neuroscience at you today, but all you really need to know is that if you aren't getting what you want in life, even though you consciously say you want it, then you're controlled by your unconscious mind body and by fear, and you're not in a state of flow. So to make sustainable change and to create the life you want, you absolutely have to be in a state of flow. I spent so many years trying to understand why I desperately wanted one thing, why I tried so hard, but I just never was able to manifest what I wanted. So if you're ready to move from the unconscious to the conscious, from 99% to 1%, from a state of fear to a state of flow, then I'd like to tell you about a 14-day program I'm running in November called the Fear to Flow Breakthrough Program. Now, in this program, you're going to spend 14 transformational days with me and a group of like-minded women. You'll take a deep dive into fear, unraveling what it is and how it works to keep us stuck in our old patterns and behaviors. You're going to feel what flow is and how living in it is the only way to create and manifest what you want in life. You'll get to see your old patterns of behavior with fresh eyes. You'll identify your own limiting beliefs, and you'll get clear on how they're keeping you stuck in fear. You're also going to learn how to start letting go of fear so that it no longer holds you hostage from being who you are meant to be. And finally, you'll discover how to start living in flow, the feminine way, so that you can create the life you deserve to live. So if you're ready for this transformational step and to get what you say you want, then click on the link below to join us. I can't wait to help you get where you want to go. I really hope to see you there. Bye for now.